Hello and welcome. Welcome to Christmas. Welcome to the holiday season. Welcome to all of your favorite things at the end of the year. My name is Paul Adams. I'm CEO and founder of Sound Financial Group and your host here for Your Business, Your Wealth. And who is with me always hosting is Mr. Corey Shepard, a man who barely ever has his clients in the red, wearing red today. It's a good color on you. Love to see it more often. I am full Santa lumber sexual today, so if anybody's curious about what this particular ensemble is referred to, if you're reading GQ.
Get on the video. Yeah, you can't just listen to audio on this one.
That's right. Yeah, you got to at least go find a clip of this episode if you're listening on audio.
And for the record, I thought I had a Santa hat. And, Paul, you just brought this up this morning. I found out that the one that I did have, I think I lent out to someone last year, and just
you probably lost it going down the chimney with those cherub cheeks of yours.
Yeah. Well, I can think of who they are. They might know who they are. They might even
be listening.
To be a client of Sound Financial Group.
If you're listening and you have Corey's Santa hat, please, we don't need to tell anybody. Just leave it on his front step. Right. Maybe with an I'm sorry note. But if you don't bring it back, we're calling you out on our episode on
Santa
January
will
15th.
give you coal. Yeah,
that's it. Yeah,
you will get coal this year.
Speaking of giving gifts, we've got two fun things to talk about today. One is we're going to talk about the most expensive gifts you could buy somebody. This is a list that Corey found. I haven't seen the list yet, so we're going to get a chance to do that. And then we're going to talk about the best gift you can give yourself in your financial future this year. Maybe forever you're going forward, which is really having an understanding of that which can't be compromised. So we're going to talk about these unbelievable, most expensive gifts somebody could get. And then we're going to circle back to not the most expensive. Well, actually, I would counter a secure financial future may be the most expensive gift you could possibly give yourself.
Most valuable, yeah.
Yeah. We should make that number 11 on this list, Corey.
Doesn't quite fit the theme, but yeah, we'll get there.
So here we go. Again, y'all, I haven't seen this list. Corey is going to take us through here.
Yeah.
So
just a little fun. And this is, some of the most expensive gifts that we know have been given. And of course, there's probably some even crazier things that never made the news, but I don't know, because some of these are pretty crazy and you might think they wouldn't have. So, number one,
this guy?
By the way,
how much is he?
Yeah.
Okay, not him.
Not him. Keep going.
There we go.
A dog.
A dog?
The Mastiff gem, the Tibetan Mastiff, which, is this just like little fuzzy hunk of lumpy fur.
And don't they only live like 7.5 years? That's like $200,000 a year.
Yeah, for $1.5 million. And Chris Brown, somehow we found out Chris Brown gave this to his daughter. It was tied around the Christmas tree one Christmas morning. Now, goodness gracious, if that happened, like, I don't know, like, it doesn't matter what it is. If I'm giving I don't know how old his daughter was either, but giving her something that's worth $1.5 million, I think I would hire a bodyguard for that dog.
Yeah, exactly right. I'm not worried about my daughter. I'm worried about this dog.
Right.
So if a Mastiff weighs on average 160 pounds, and we have 16 ounces per pound, equals 2,500 ounces. What's current price of gold per ounce? Let's see. Gold per ounce. Gold per ounce is 1,780. 1,780. Okay, so it's not quite worth its weight in gold. Its weight in gold would be 4.5 million. So, okay, that's not too expensive of a dog.
Well, except that was the puppy. So he spent $1.5 million on like a 2-pound puppy.
Dude, that dog is definitely worth its weight in gold then.
Yeah.
So congratulations, Chris Brown's daughter.
Like
Doesn't Chris Brown have like 15 kids? Like,
I don't know.
Did he have to get 15 of these?
I don't think he did. I think he just bought one.
No.
But that's a good question for his wife. Like, hey, honey, where are the other 14? Now I got one happy daughter. And yeah.
Well, they're not wives, but he's got
Right.
mamas.
That's
All
true.
right, next one.
So the next one is A White Christmas. Now, you thought this was just a movie, but once upon a time, Aaron Spelling recreated White Christmas in the backyard for his family living in California. And apparently, right there in Beverly Hills. And one of his kids, Tori, who's an actress, has redid that for her family in 2009. So $2 million
That's
to have a white Christmas.
It's a heck of a family tradition. Good for them.
Right. Pretty cool.
Waterfall gift.
A waterfall. So remember Brangelina?
Mm-hmm.
So Angelina actually gave him a California waterfall and the land on it so he could build his own version of a Frank Lloyd Wright home. Now, Frank Lloyd Wright's amazing architect. He was here in Chicago area, and it's beautiful, beautiful houses. But the funny thing is, 1.6 million wasn't even for a house. That was just for the land. So that's like a some assembly required kind of gift.
Isn't that the equivalent of buying somebody a $2 chocolate bar, but they have to pay $8 in taxes?
Right, exactly.
All right, let's hit the next one here.
One of my favorites, Mike Tyson. Of course, Mike Tyson is on this list. This bathtub is worth its weight in gold because it's made of gold. So,
whoa. Did he buy it for her or did she buy it?
Yeah. He bought his ex-wife a 24-karat gold bathtub with a price tag of $2.3 million back then. But it actually doesn't say the year. I would bet that was, a good 15 years ago. So it
has
could
to be. I mean, they were married back in the 90s, right?
Oh yeah, right, even longer.
One of my favorite comics from Mad Magazine was a Buster Douglas at his locker after he knocked Tyson out, and he was unzipping his full body suit, and it was Robin Givens underneath.
That's great.
All right. Hong Kong superstar.
Yeah, Aaron
2.6
Kwok,
million.
and he basically gave his girlfriend an apartment.
Next.
Next. It's great. It's a lot, but that's not very creative.
Great, you bought somebody real estate.
Right. This next one, the Beckhams. So David Beckham got Victoria this Boucheron ruby and diamond necklace, which is pretty exceptional for 2.4 million. Plus, talk about stocking stuffers. The necklace plus a $100,000 diamond encrusted handbag plus a $500,000 Rolls Royce Phantom. That's a pretty big stocking. But
yeah,
that's so that's kind of the package gift.
Is this where the term bougie comes from?
Bougie, right?
Bougie. I mean, I was just the beginning of Boucheron. It looks like bougie. I mean, pretty good reason to call it. That is definitely a bougie gift.
It is a bougie gift. So Liz Taylor, one of the Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton were the original Brangelina.
Oh yeah,
really. And so he got her this really cool ring called La Peregrina, which has some crazy kind of colonialism history, found by a slave in Africa and the islands. So I mean, there's some baggage around this gift to begin with. And then
plus it was 4.2 million back when Liz Taylor was young.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
correct.
Yeah, man. If they inflation adjusted these, it'd be crazy.
That's why this one's intriguing. Yeah, 1968. This cost.
Oh, that's 1968, 4.2 million. That's got to be the equivalent of 16 million today.
Yeah. And they didn't. I don't remember when they got divorced, but they definitely did, and probably wasn't that long after.
Yeah. So then the next one, number 3 on the list, is a 22-year-old's $88 million Christmas present.
This one has a little bit of cultural context right now because it's a Russian oligarch giving his 22-year-old daughter, again, more real estate. That's a Manhattan property, which, okay, this one's a little less boring because it's like, hold on a second. You're giving this $88 million iconic Manhattan piece of real estate to a 22-year-old. Like, what is she gonna do with this?
It's estate planning.
Except ruin it.
He's just shifting money from one generation to the next. Called it a birthday present.
I mean, he's still got to pay like gift taxes on that kind of gift.
Wait a second. This person has a Hope Diamond?
It's not a Hope Diamond, it's the Hope Diamond.
Oh, sorry. The Hope Diamond. Just like when I referred to the beard, it's the beard, the Hope Diamond. I get it.
Right.
So who got this? McLean? Is this anybody famous? What?
Mining heiress? No. So she's 1908. 1908.
That's pretty boss. All right, let's hit the last one here.
I mean, like, think about that. $250 million, and is that the 1908 value?
Or did they adjust that one? I don't know if they're adjusting them. $250 million would be like all the money in the world. Here it is, the bottom. A USD $250 million estimate. Oh, so it's an estimate, not what he paid.
Gotcha. Yeah, the Orlov diamond. And this is what I like about this one. So Catherine the Great of Russia, basically she's the only one in the country that has enough money to buy this thing. So she buys it, hands it to her lover, Count Orlov, to give to her as a present. But he gave it to her.
I like that.
Yeah, there's no way he had enough money to buy that. Yeah.
This is pretty much what my wife does, where she buys all the things she wants on Amazon and then opens them with a look of surprise as if they're from me. It's pretty much the same. I want to just mention, though, the bracketing of gift price is a little different.
Just a touch. Yeah. Well, this one is priceless. So, you could give her just, a kiss on the cheek and say, like, that one's like just like the Orlov diamond, honey. My gift is priceless. Yeah.
In fact, not even as heavy. You can carry around that kiss as long as you want. Your back's not going to hurt. So that's a big advantage. So let's shift topics. Of course, there are all these crazy things that people can spend money on. They've got the ability to buy surplus things that they're going to enjoy, sometimes for many, many years. Sometimes it can be something that we enjoy for a limited window of time and then it goes away or breaks or something else. But what we don't think about often enough, even though everybody listening to this podcast, probably all of you out there at some point have said to yourselves, even from the very early time of you coming into the workplace, you said, one day I'm going to retire. Like, everybody goes in knowing that, right, Corey? Like, some point, I'm going to get old, not working. Yeah. Hopefully I make it that long for some of you, maybe who embrace some more dangerous curricular activities. But, the race car racing, the cliff diving, all y'all out there. So, if we make it to retirement, we're going to one day have to have enough money to be able to be financially independent. But I was just reading an article on productivity and what it takes for people to accomplish something. And they did this big study of like people who had the intention to accomplish something, people that had the intention to accomplish something and were asked by researchers to write down if they made any progress on any given day. And then the last people, and it was in containing motivation also, the second one.
Oh, okay.
And then the last one was to just have people write out what end result they wanted and what they were going to do on the regular to get there. And the ability for people to get done what they intended to get done was like 30 some percent in the first two scenarios, and then like 60 plus percent, almost 70% in the last scenario. And so this is the gift that I want everybody to give themselves. And that is to just take some time and write out what are the things that for you personally, and there's no wrong answer to this, what are the things that in your old age are absolutely not a compromise? Now, oftentimes when people think about retirement, it's like, oh, where do you want to go? What do you want to do? Where do you want to travel? And all this. And it's all like, a dream list, whiteboard, vision board of like this amazing future, which is like, I don't have anything wrong with that. That's not what we're talking about here. What we're talking about is you writing down like, absolutely, I want to own my house in my old age. It needs to be at least 2,000 square foot, single level. I need to have one dependable car, and I want it to be a pickup truck. That I always have the ability to pay for my health care, etc. I need 3 trips a year to go see grandkids, or maybe it's 4, whatever yours is. But these are the things like I absolutely cannot compromise on.
Like I want to travel to Europe. If you really dig deep, there's probably some compromise room on like it's not every year, or there's some cool local trips, or like but to be able to see the grandkids or not, no way we compromise that one. Yeah, like really get deep on it.
Get deep. And then as you list that out, now this might just be one page. Ideally, you work on it with your spouse, but for those of you that are a little more financially minded, I would have you work on it first and then bring your spouse into it. Like, what are the things we absolutely need to have? And take some time. I mean, and this will take some time for you to be able to do, is to build that list. And now after you've built that list, what I want you to do next, and this is where you might need a financial professional to help you. Now, if you're working with another advisor, it doesn't mean you need to work with us. We do work with clients all over the country. We meet with you by Zoom meeting. If you'd like, you can go to info@sfgwa.com right now. Send an email. Say, I'd like a meeting. We'd be happy to help, hypothetically speaking, if you chose to do that. That having been said, you then need to do the math of what does it cost to fund those parts of your life that you're not willing to compromise around. Now, here's the reason why I want you to do this. Because what that's going to reveal for you is maybe something that's like an uncompromising, no matter what, I need $160,000 coming in a year to do all these things that I do not want to compromise on. Now, maybe you're currently making $400 or $500 a year, so this is quite a bit less than what you're making. Or maybe you currently make $250, but you do the math and you find out it's $80,000. Right there, understanding that math and then working with your professional team to be able to say, well, how much needs to be set aside to be able to actually have that by whatever predetermined age. Maybe yours is 65, maybe it's 60. Maybe you love what you're doing, you want to go to 70. But you're going to figure that out, that's going to cost X. And that means it's going to take a certain capital at work. And then you realize like that's the number that nobody else said. Nobody's forcing you into it. No wrist twisting. You did this all on your own. That now all the things you do and that you have control over between now and that age, you might be doing things that are totally optional now. Like all these crazy gifts.
Yeah, right.
that Corey just showed us.
Or maybe not that crazy, but something occurred to me, Paul. A lot of folks listening, I mean, a lot of folks in America in the middle to upper income ranges might spend 1%, 2% of their annual income right at Christmas without really even, between flights and gifts without really even thinking about it. So we're saying just think about it for a little bit, something that'll produce 100 times that amount of money in 10 to 30 years from now. That's
exactly right. And what we're looking to do is for you, and this part doesn't need to involve an advisor, but might, is that if you then realize what is the amount of money that's non-compromisable that you have to have in your old age. Like we had a friend over to our house the other day, and she's gone through a rough divorce over the last 7 years, and just really realizes it, and that she's got work to do. And she says she's getting ready to go into a new career, and she said, "I want you to know I'm terrified. I'm absolutely terrified." And I said, "What's got you terrified?" And what was unique in what terrified her, she said, "If I stay on my current track and I keep doing what I'm doing, I'm going to have no retirement. I'll be fine for now, but I'm going to be poor in my old age. I'm also terrified about going into this new field where I can make an amount of money that'll allow me to fund the retirement, but there's all kinds of risk in changing careers."
Yeah.
And she's like, "No matter what, I need to be terrified." Now, I got to tell you, that's the most sober assessment that I've heard from most ambitious adults in a long time.
Yeah.
Is that even if I don't leave, I've got something to be terrified about. It's just not going to happen for 15 years. But that, like for her, she's looking at that as like, I don't care if it's 15 years from now, it's still a wood chipper. I don't want to go through it. And so what this exercise can most do for you and your spouse is let you realize that there are things that you're spending money on right now that are optional, that may be compromising that which you said in the future was unoptional for you and your family to not be able to have. And I think the problem isn't that we're making that choice. This isn't something for you guys to say, I should have done this, I should have done that. We don't want you shoulding all over yourself. And we don't want you to think we're doing that either. It's just that to be aware that it's like, oh my gosh, if I thought I was saving okay in my 401k, it looks like I need to save $15,000 more a year to get to my uncompromised number. That doesn't give me the luxuries I want in retirement. So that means, maybe I'll wait another year and a half, 2 years to get a new car. Or maybe I need to work a few more hours, or maybe I need to take that new promotion, or you name it.
Right. Now, that, just to be clear, like that's the scale of decision-making pivots we're talking about, because I promise you, just turn around and say, well, kids, no prisons this year. Like, number one, that won't solve the retirement issue, and two, it'll create way more problems.
Yeah, your kids are going to unsubscribe you from the podcast, and nobody wants that.
No one wants that.
That'd be a tragedy.
Yeah.
Which this is a good time to remind everybody. Be sure to like this video. Be sure to make sure you're subscribed if you just ran across this episode of the podcast. And if you get a chance, text this episode to somebody else. And if you want to, you're an existing client of our firm, look at how ridiculous my financial advisor looks with this Santa hat on. That's perfectly fine. Because a conversation like this might open up something totally new for somebody that you care about, somebody that's never really done the math before. And even if they don't work with an advisor, but maybe they go find a retirement calculators on our website, or they just learn enough to be able to do this simple calculation of what's uncompromisable in my old age. How much money is it going to take in capital at work to produce that? So $1 million of capital at work per $40,000 of income. And then you can know if you are doing things that would, maybe you don't have to make any changes. You're just already on the path. But for many of you, if you're 45 years old now and you're targeting 65, odds are over the next 20 years, you are going to have more than enough opportunities to jeopardize your financial independence. And the problem is the generations before us, people 30, 40 years ago, when they retired, they didn't have as much that they had to say no to as we do today. And so we have to be in a position where we are saying a big enough yes to our future that we can say no to the little things that have been marketed to us in the present to make sure that we build the future that we want. Because I promise you, and we've talked about this before on the podcast, whenever you see somebody you owe money to, now many of you haven't owed money to somebody for years and years and years. But if you remember what that felt like to owe somebody money and knowing you're going to have to talk to them about it and tell them you're going to get it later or whatever, well, you're going to meet the old version of you one day. And that person's going to say, you owe me $4 million so I can live the rest of my life, or whatever your number is. And the question is, will we be able to fulfill on that promise? Because that's a promise we made to our spouse, probably a promise we made to ourselves. We implied that promise to our kids that we wouldn't be in a position where we have to live with them And which, by the way, I can't tell you how great it is having my mom live with us, knowing that she didn't have to. That we chose to do it as a way we want to do life together as a family, which is wildly different than the situations that many families are relegated to because the parents are out of money. Some of you may have your parents living with you right now or depending on you because of that. And what you get a chance to do is to remain totally independent for the sake of your kids. And that's the gift we hope you all can give yourselves for Christmas. Just do that little bit of exercise. Might take you an hour to write it out. Might take you another hour to do the math of what the lifestyle would cost. And then take that to whoever is advising you on your finances and say, what can we do to make sure that this lifestyle, this level of income is not compromised? Because that's what I'm giving myself for Christmas this year.
And again, if you know someone who might need help with that, or you just think they deserve that kind of conversation, and you want to text this episode and say, hey, look how classy my financial advisor looks in this red Christmas scarf, then that's a thing you could do as well.
Yep. Highly encourage you guys to send just a screenshot of Corey's beautiful face in that scarf because by itself, we tried to hire the Gerber baby. Corey's the best we could do. And with that,
the Gerber baby doesn't look as cute anymore. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think you give him a run for his money now, Corey.
Yeah.
With that, you all, we've had a wonderful year with you. Thank you for all your views. Thank you for all your notes. For those of you that have liked our episodes throughout the year, and we just look forward to doing this again with you in 2023. This is going to be our last episode until the new year, but we hope that you guys take some time, and we'd love to hear in the comments about anything that you guys came up with that would not compromise, like things that you would not compromise in your old age. And other people watching the same video are going to pick up on that. So know that you making that comment is not just something you do for you to see on YouTube, but you might be making a big difference for somebody else, helping them think of something that they don't want to compromise in their old age. So with that, Corey, why don't you send them out today?
With that, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and a Happy New Year. And we hope that this has been a contribution to you being able to design and build a good life.